Ideal sex duration. Let's rip the band-aid off right now. When it comes to sex, there's a question almost everyone has in their head but very few dare to say out loud. How long should it last? People carry this question like a secret burden. They compare themselves. They shame themselves. They feel like they're not enough. And here's the truth. The world has given you an unrealistic script about sex. It has sold you a performance, a fantasy, a timeline that doesn't match human reality. So today, I'm here to tell you what the ideal sex duration really is, and it's probably not what you think. Let's break it down into 12 truths that will change the way you see intimacy forever. 1. The myth of endless endurance. We've all seen it, movies, shows, and especially porn. The idea that the real man, or perfect partner, can last for hours without stopping. But let me ask you something. Do you really believe that's how it works in real life? Those aren't real encounters. Those are performances, rehearsed, cut, and edited. The problem is, you've taken that performance and measured yourself against it. And when you come up short, you think you've failed. But let's be clear. Endurance does not equal intimacy. No one hands out medals at the end of sex. The point is not to outlast the clock. The point is to connect. The longer you chase the myth, the more you miss the truth. 2. Reality check. Science speaks. Let's talk data. A massive study asked couples how long penetrative sex actually lasted. The average, 5 to 13 minutes. Not hours. Not even half an hour. That's reality. So why does this matter? Because most people are already within the normal range without even realizing it. But here's the catch. You can hit the average and still feel like you're doing something wrong if you're stuck comparing yourself to fake standards. The truth is, science can give us a range, but it cannot define your personal ideal. That's between you and your partner. 3. Ideal is relative, not absolute. Think about it. Does every meal you eat take the same amount of time? Of course not. Some days, lunch is a quick sandwich on the go. Other days, dinner is slow, candlelit, and stretched over hours. Sex is the same. Sometimes the ideal is quick and passionate, sometimes it's long and exploratory. There is no single number. The ideal is what fits the energy, the mood, the moment, and the people involved. 4. The quickie counts too. A lot of people dismiss quick sex as less than. But quick doesn't mean unimportant. Quick sex can be playful, spontaneous, and deeply satisfying. It can recharge your relationship in the middle of a busy day. It reminds you that intimacy doesn't always need an elaborate setup. It just needs two people who want each other. The ideal sex duration, in that case, is 5 minutes. And that's perfectly valid. 5. Slow and sensual has its place. On the flip side, sometimes the ideal is slow, deliberate, and stretched out. The kind of intimacy where foreplay takes longer than the act itself. The kind where you're savoring every touch, every sound, every breath. This isn't about lasting for a set amount of time, it's about choosing to slow down and enjoy the journey. For many, these are the moments that build unforgettable connection. 6. Communication is the real timer. You can last 30 minutes and still fail your partner if you never ask them what feels good. On the other hand, you can last 7 minutes and leave them fully satisfied if you're tuned in. The truth is, timing is irrelevant if you're not talking. Communication is the real timer of sex. When you ask, when you listen, when you adjust, you create satisfaction regardless of duration. 7. Ideal duration is about quality, not quantity. Here's a reality check. You can go through the motions for half an hour, disconnected, distracted, and bored. Or you can have 8 minutes of electric, passionate, fully present intimacy that leaves you breathless. Which would you rather choose? Quality always beats quantity. Always. 8. Bodies change, so do timings. What was ideal when you were 20 won't necessarily be ideal at 40 or 60 or beyond. Hormones shift, energy levels fluctuate, health changes, stress, kids, work, life itself impacts how long sex lasts. If you cling to one number forever, you'll frustrate yourself. But if you stay flexible, if you allow your sex life to evolve with your body and your relationship, you'll always find your ideal. 9. Pressure kills pleasure. Let me be direct. The more you obsess about lasting longer, the faster you'll finish. Why? Because anxiety destroys relaxation. And relaxation is what lets your body stay present. When you stop watching the clock and start watching your partner, you take the pressure off. And ironically, when you stop caring so much about lasting, you usually last longer. 10. The role of foreplay. If you define sex as only penetration, you've cut the experience in half. The kissing, the touching, the teasing, that's sex too. When you count foreplay, duration changes completely. Suddenly, what you thought was a short session might actually be 30 minutes of total intimacy, even if penetration was brief. The ideal sex duration expands when you see it as the whole journey, not just one act. 11. Emotional connection extends time. Here's the hidden truth. Intimacy isn't just physical. When you feel safe, desired, and connected, time feels slower. A 5-minute encounter with someone who loves you can feel richer than an hour with someone who doesn't care. Emotional connection stretches time. That's why the ideal isn't just about what your body does, it's about how your heart feels. 12. The ideal is what works for both. At the end of the day, here's the only answer that matters. The ideal sex duration is the one that leaves both people satisfied. It doesn't matter what science says. It doesn't matter what the internet says. It doesn't matter what your friends brag about. The only measure that counts is the satisfaction of the two people in the room. Period. So stop timing yourself. Stop comparing yourself. Stop chasing myths. Sex isn't a performance. It isn't a stopwatch competition. It's a connection. Sometimes that connection lasts 5 minutes. Sometimes it lasts 45. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it's slow. But in every case, the ideal is the one that makes you and your partner walk away feeling seen, satisfied, and smiling. Forget the clock. Focus on each other. That's the truth about the ideal sex duration.